Hello and welcome again to Peppermint Wednesday. My name is Peter Roper. I'm known as the Family Businessman, and welcome to my video blog where I'm asked questions by my clients on a weekly basis about family business. So here's a question that I was asked very recently. What happens when a family member leaves? Now, that's interesting. You see, my experience tends to be that people only think about this when it happens, because most people think it's never going to happen. Most people create a family business and they're all in for the long term in the main once they become involved in it. And so nobody thinks about the fact that someone's going to leave, or when they do think about it, it's probably when they're close to retiring, and all of a sudden all sorts of ideas go in people's heads. And I've seen loads of arguments develop in very good, rational families. And the reason being is that all of a sudden somebody said, by the way, I've had enough, something's happened and I'm off in 3 months' time. Bingo. Well, we thought you wouldn't leave for another 5 years. Well, look, life's changed. Maybe it's a health issue, maybe it's a family issue, maybe they've just decided they want to see the world. It doesn't really matter. The point is what happens? Has that been thought through in terms of the ownership of the business? When a family member leaves, what happens to their shares? Do they keep the shares? Do they lose the preference for voting inside the business? Do they keep an amount of shares? Are they allowed to sell the shares? And if so, who are they allowed to sell them to? Other members of the family or to anybody? What do you do with all that? You see, the thing is if you put some thought and effort into this, it's quite straightforward. If a family member then comes up and says, you know what, guys, life's changed, it's changed. That's it. Life's changed. I'm going to go around the world because I've decided I want to. Then if it's in place, everybody's clear and upfront what's going to happen. This is a shade of grey that's very dangerous. It's very dangerous because it can impact on that family. So if somebody says, you know what, I'm sorry guys, I've done all I can with this family business, I'm off. Unfortunately, it's not paying me enough. I've had a huge offer from somebody else. I've got the family to feed. I have to go. That's my decision. Now, if you take the emotion out of that, because the rest of the family will go, well, you're leaving us and all the rest of it. If there's a process in place that says, okay, guys, we understand it, we accept it, here's the things that will happen in that case. You can keep the shares, but you can't vote, or you don't keep your shares, or actually you can sell them to somebody, or whatever. All that process, if you've got it in place, means that because life changes or a curveball appears in somebody's life, all of a sudden, it doesn't throw a complete wobble inside the family, and because of that, the business, because at the end of the day, the business is inanimate. It's not an object even. So it will not differentiate between people coming and going, other than what they contribute to the business itself. So in many ways, think about what happens when somebody leaves. Have you got a process in place that enables everybody to know and understand what that means? And so that when they're starting to make those awkward, major life-changing decisions, they already know the effects and the consequences of what that would have on the business and those family members that are a part of it. So, get on social, send me an email. I always answer them personally. Let's talk about what happens when family members leave family businesses. What experience have you had? Let's share that information. But for now, this is Peppermint Wednesday. My name is Peter Roper. I'm known as the Family Businessman. And remember, if I can help you in any way, just let me know. Thanks for listening.